Hey everyone, just going to give a quick intro here before letting the data speak for itself, but I wanted to do a quick controlled test into how effective anti-lag and launch control are. Now, I did only test a handful of cars in a drag race setting, so it's not the most comprehensive test in the world, but it still does paint a pretty accurate picture of what you're going to be able to expect out of these features. So I'm going to let everything play here and come back for some closing thoughts at the end of the video. Enjoy! Alright, so there you have it. Again, keep in mind this is a fairly small sample size, but I have now spent about 30 hours playing with anti-lag and launch control, and I can say that the results here do pretty accurately mirror what you're going to see in all the other gameplay. So what we see is that anti-lag is effectively never a bad thing. In lower power and single turbo cars, where there's a lot more turbo lag, we see anti-lag making a huge improvement, of course. But as engines improve, the benefits of anti-lag diminish, while never seeming to fully go away. This all makes perfect sense to real life really, and since anti-lag has almost no PI cost, this is a very worthwhile upgrade. If you have a car with the race turbo already installed, there is essentially no reason not to switch to anti-lag. Now, launch control is tricky because this is actually a game setting and won't be car specific. And as you can see, the results are a bit more mixed, but still pretty clear. In low grip settings, launch control is faster, and in high grip settings, it's a bit slower. Again, this makes some good sense. Launch control is meant to just help in low grip settings. It is just a bit of a bummer that it does happen to be slower when you have more grip. I still think personally that it's worth keeping on most of the time unless you're trying to really push sprint rivals or drag racing rivals or something like that. But generally, even at its worst, it's never that much slower. And in higher classes, especially for front and rear wheel drive, and especially when you're starting on sand or dirt or even just on an incline, it can be much faster. Now, it's worth saying that for all these tests, my controller input was the exact same. Just mash the throttle and let the game do the rest. So you might be asking, okay, well, what if I tried to manually control throttle in a low grip launch? And no, if launch control was faster already on full throttle, you really won't be able to beat it, even if you try managing your grip on a launch. It's also just so much more consistent. So, in summary, anti-lag is always worth it if you can fit the race turbo anyway, and launch control across the whole of Horizon gameplay is generally faster, but can be a bit slower in low classes and high grip settings. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you all think about anti-lag and launch control.